Are we in? Well, apparently, shit moves really, really fast, and we are now in the stage of behead your own dad for glorious God, Aryan Emperor Trump level of barbarism. That's where we're at. So this guy, yeah, he did that yesterday. He's currently in prison, well, in jail for murder, because shortly before this segment of his video, he displayed the severed head of his father, who apparently worked for the federal government, to all and sundry. Yeah, he uploaded a YouTube video which was apparently allowed to sit for 6 hours? 6 hours? On YouTube. And I saw it on Twitter yesterday. It's not a good scene. He basically had his dad's severed, bloody head in a plastic bag, and after he gave us that gruesome display, he went on this rant. It lasted for 10 minutes, but this is a 1 minute and 13-second long excerpt from it. And we can make a bit of extrapolation as to the mental health and stability of this individual after this 1 minute and 13 seconds. There's really no need to listen to 10 minutes of his nonsense.
He is now in hell for eternity as a traitor to his country. It is said that those who commit treason and betray others occupy the lowest pits of hell for all time. The federal government of America has declared war on America's citizens and the American states. America is rotting from the inside out as far-left, woke mobs rampage our once prosperous cities, turning them into lawless zones.
So this guy's talking about lawlessness and woke mobs and all that, but he literally just cut off his dad's fucking head and showed it to the entire world on YouTube. It just shows how out of touch with reality these people are. This guy is going to be in prison for the rest of his life because of shit that he doesn't even understand.
Taxpayer dollars are printed and used for anything but the taxpayers, with little to no accountability, which has inflated the economy to near destruction and has made it so most Americans can no longer afford the American dream. Meanwhile,
what American dream? My people picked fucking cotton. We never could afford the American dream.
A fifth...
Mashallah, Daddy Black Red Guard is uploaded. Comrade, I would just like to express my appreciation at your intense dedication. Every time I upload a video, you always try to be the first to comment with this exact same thing. Mashallah, Daddy Black Red Guard is uploaded. Keep it up.
Column army of illegal immigrants infiltrates our border.
So this guy literally just committed one of the most heinous and illegal actions known to humankind. He committed patricide. He murdered his own dad. And not just murdered him, he beheaded him and displayed it for the internet. Like, I'm pretty sure that's forbidden in the Bible. Didn't people have, like, really, really bad things happen to them after murdering one to the other of their parents? Matricide and patricide are generally not smiled upon by Big Daddy in the sky.
And if the traitorous Biden regime is successful in sending America's military overseas to fight for Ukraine and die in a Russian winter, just like every other military who has ever fought
Singapore is a capitalist hellhole, literally Midgard from Final Fantasy VII.
Russia in the winter, then
Bro committed one of the 5 crimes with immediate retribution and was like, I want tax reform. Yeah, you chopped off your daddy's head for taxes. You chopped off your daddy's head as a fucking tax protest. I mean, that is like the quintessential white American thing, but bruh.
America will be less protected when the fifth column of illegal immigrants strikes Americans on our own soil. My name is Justin Moan. I'm the commander of America's national network of militias, which you may know of as Moan's Militia. I now give...
Moan's Militia. You have an unfortunate last name, bro. You might not want to name the militia that exists in your head after yourself. Moans. Oh God, we got the Moans coming.
The following order for all militia and patriots across the United States.
So yeah, dude is obviously schizophrenic. He suffers from extreme delusions, and unfortunately, as a result, he murdered his own father. Here's Tom Cotton, another fellow with an unfortunate last name. He's quizzing this guy from Singapore, and apparently he doesn't realize that Singapore is basically capitalist heaven. Oh, what do we have to say, Master?
What nation are you a citizen?
Singapore.
Are you a citizen of any other nation?
No, Senator.
Have you ever applied for Chinese citizenship?
Senator, I served.
Okay, so Singapore has quite a bit of people who are of Han Chinese descent, but like Singapore is like basically the exact opposite of what China is. China is founded on supposedly socialist principles. Of course, as we Maoists know, it has reverted back to capitalism, imperialism. But Singapore is literally founded on capitalist principles. So, like, you figure that a United States senator, a guy who makes laws for us, a guy who rules over us, a guy who has the ability to help make policy, would know better and would do some research before harassing this guy about this. But
served my nation in Singapore. No, I did not.
Do you have a Singaporean passport?
Yes, and I served my military for two and a half years in Singapore.
Do you have any other passports from any other nations?
No, Senator.
Your wife is an American citizen, your children are American citizens.
That's correct.
Have you ever applied for American citizenship?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Well, this guy is like literally everything like that America wants in an immigrant. He's very wealthy. He's married an American citizen. His kids are American citizens. And that's not good enough for Massa Cotton.
Have you ever been a member of the Chinese Communist Party?
Oh my God.
Senator, I'm Singaporean. No.
You're not making a good argument for applying, Senator. Honestly, if I were him, I would just go back to fucking Singapore. I would not want any part or parcel of this country that's run by such ignorant, illiterate motherfuckers. Like, what? Why? What's the purpose? To be governed by assholes like this?
Have you ever been associated or affiliated with the Chinese Communist Party?
Oh my God.
No, Senator. Again, I'm Singaporean.
Let me ask you some hopefully simple questions. You said earlier, in response to a question, that what happened at Tiananmen Square in June of 1989 was...
Why is he quizzing this dude about this stuff? He has nothing to do with it. He's not a member of the Chinese Communist Party. This guy probably despises communism, but he keeps on like harping on the same shit. Either this guy is a fucking imbecile or he's throwing raw meat to his base. I'm surprised he's not running for the Republican nomination for president, to be honest.
It was a map.
Like, I guarantee you, like, this guy is from New York, and apparently somebody that's close to Trump's campaign said that the vice presidential nominee is most likely going to be from New York. But, like, this is a perfect vice presidential runner for Trump. I don't know if Trump has had any beef with him or not, but yeah. Tom Cotton has to say konnichiwa to the Korean restaurant staff.
Massive protests. Anything else happen in Tiananmen Square?
Yes, I think it's well documented. There was a massacre.
There was the indiscriminate slaughter of hundreds or thousands of Chinese citizens.
Oh my God, we are so fucking cooked. Like, we're through. I am average American man. I work 15 hours at a hamburger mine to buy one rock and roll disc. This is a KGB spy being questioned by the police in 1985.
Of what nation are you a citizen?
The world. Watch Israeli forces kidnap a Palestinian today, make him put on an IOF uniform, tie them up in chains, and use them as a human shield during a raid at Kalandia refugee camp at occupied Al-Quds, Jerusalem.
من داخل مخيم قرنديا عبر آلياته ويقوم بإخراج
But I thought it was only Hamas that used human shields.
من هذا المكان. نستطيع مشاهدة هذا الشاب الذي توقفه قوات الاحتلال في هذه الأثناء. هو أحد الشبان الذين اعتقلتهم من داخل المخيم في إطار عملياتها العسكرية، وما زالت هذه العملية العسكرية متواصلة. نستطيع مشاهدة حالة الاستنفار التي
You don't think this is coming to the United States? Like, they're going to do this shit here too? It's coming for us? Be prepared. Be very scared.
تشهدها هذه المنطقة الآن في ظل قيام قوات الاحتلال باستمرار ومواصلة اعتقالها لهذا الشاب عند مدخل المخيم. حالة من الاستنفار للشبان الذين قام باعتقالهم من داخل مخيم قرنديا عبر آلياته.
Like, you don't think they're gonna do that shit here? Israel is basically a fucking dry run. What's going on here? I love Steve. I grew up with Steve. I mean, we started out with clues, and now it's what? Student loans and jobs? Believe me, there's a better way. We must embrace communism, kids. apparently people on Twitter think I'm autistic. I'm not autistic, I'm just gay. Thank you, though.
From Israel.
Oh, okay.
Like, for as long
I love this dude. Like, this guy has the patience of a saint. This guy has the patience of a fucking saint. Like, I could not do this. This is a Hamza Sada.
as I can remember.
And what he does is, like, he gets on this site and he seeks out Israelis, or the Israelis seek him out, and like he engages in discussions with these people, and most of the time he ends up getting cursed out or called a variety of horrible things. And like he's making really, really good propaganda and educational material for his people. Like, he's showing us how Zionists think. But let's see what happens with this when he talks to this kid.
I always remember my parents telling me the Muslims hate us because we're Jewish and things like that.
That's propaganda. I mean, that's what happens to kids in Israel. You know, they're kind of taught, they're brought up to learn that Muslims or Palestinians don't like Jewish people. So that's completely, that's completely false.
Because most of them hate us.
So that's, who told you that? Your mom?
Okay, you hate us, right?
I hate Israel. I hate the government. I don't hate
you.
you. I don't hate you.
You said, but you understand that we have to fight back.
So fight back who though? Fight who?
Hamas.
Okay, so how many Hamas members were killed?
I wonder if this guy's like a teacher or something. Like, he has that teacher's voice.
Would you say?
I know there's a lot of innocent were killed because of us, but we really didn't have a choice.
Really? They willingly bombed a refugee camp with civilians. They willingly bombed hospitals and schools and other civilian buildings and cultural sites as well. What about the kids in Gaza that were killed? The 10,000 kids in Gaza, did you need to kill them?
This is actually not...
There you go, you've planted the seeds of doubt.
I don't think you did. I don't think you...
This guy is a really, really effective... Like, communists need to learn how to talk like this. Like, instead of just yelling at people and calling them reactionaries, like, see, he's planted the seeds of doubt in his kid's mind, and hopefully he'll end up hating his fucking country.
Needed to happen. I think it's unnecessary killing. I think they're being killed because they're Palestinian. What's a kid gonna do to you? What's a 5-year-old gonna do to you?
There is a chance that the kids in Gaza there is a chance that they will become a terrorist.
There's a chance that you'll grow up and join the IOF and kill God knows how many kids.
So that's probably something else your mom told you?
Yeah, these people are like hopelessly brainwashed. Like, I'll never forget that video. Like, they're even turning on each other. You have Israeli citizens going after other Israeli citizens because they're saying that maybe it's not a good idea to just wantonly slaughter people because of their national identity. And these kids, I think it was in Tel Aviv, went after their principal, and like they were trying to lynch this dude because he made a Facebook post saying that, hey, maybe we should let these people have humanitarian aid. Like, the entire school came out, like it was like a reactionary cultural revolution. These were like little reactionary Red Guards. Like, they're getting ready to murder their fucking principal because he said that, hey, maybe we should allow these people to have food and water.
But that's just completely false.
You know, we got to bomb them like back. You know that because
kids?
We can just
kids
throw. We can't know if there's kids or not. You know.
Yes, you can. Like, you all are capable of fucking precision strikes, precision missile strikes that literally remove entire sides of buildings like cutting a fucking cake. You know, you all want to do that shit.
I mean, half of the population are kids. There's 1 million kids in Gaza, and it's a very dense populated area. 70% of the people that have been killed have been children and women.
You know, we've got to do it.
You've got to kill the children.
Like, you could tell, like, the little gears in his little brain are like gumming up a little bit.
Children and women.
We've got to kill because.
Can I ask you a question? Let's say Hamas, instead of going back to Gaza with the hostages, let's say they went into an Israeli hospital and they took over the Israeli hospital with Israeli workers and everything. Do you think they should bomb the hospital to kill the Hamas? Do you think it's okay to bomb that hospital?
I love how he's mocking their pronunciation.
If it was in Israel?
No.
Okay. So why is it okay to do it in Gaza?
It's not our people.
There you go. He said the quiet part out loud. It's not our people. So these are not our people, so it's okay for us to do whatever the fuck we want to them.
So it's okay to kill them? They're innocent people. Is that what they teach you though? Your parents tell you that Palestinians want to kill you?
Most of them.
Is there a justification for Israel killing its own civilians on October 7th?
Yes.
What's the justification for that? That's really what they're taught, huh? That's really...
No, he disappeared. His parents probably caught him. Why are you talking to that filthy Arab? Don't seek to hurt any man, but if any man seeks to hurt you, break his neck. Very good advice. People are attacking Motaz because he's in Qatar and he attended a football game. Yes, I pronounced it. Well, I said football because I don't want non-Americans jumping down my throat. In America, we call what you call football, we call it soccer. But he attended this ball game and people are roasting him. Like, this guy has seen horrors that we can't even fathom from our comfortable seats in the West. But being Westerners, we have to criticize every fucking thing. Like, this guy has earned the right to attend every fucking soccer game. He's earned the right. Why do so many black activists support Palestinians? Black American activists and Palestinians have shown solidarity with each other since the 1960s as oppressed peoples fighting colonial powers.
Black American activists and Palestinians have stood together in solidarity for decades. Niall Fort, a minister, scholar, and faith-based organizer with the Dream Defenders, says that this solidarity is part of a long tradition of fighting for liberation.
We're mass incarcerated the same. We're violently policed the same. We experience the same kind of repression in our school systems. That doesn't need to be the basis of our solidarity. The basis of our solidarity grows from a moral commitment to fighting for the dignity, safety, and equality of all life. To me, that is the heartbeat of our connection, despite all of the statistics that connect us around systems of oppression.
Although the solidarity does go back decades, it didn't initially start that way.
Black people's relationship to Zionism has been a bit complex, in part because of our intimate relationship with the biblical book of Exodus, which enslaved Africans used to read ourselves into the story, except in this case, we were the Israelites and America was Egypt.
Initially, many thought that Israel was a liberation project, but that would soon change when it became clear that the state of Israel was being created through the violent displacement of the Palestinians who lived there. After the June 1967 war,
here's my boy.
The Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee put out a newsletter calling Israel's capture of the West Bank, Gaza, and East Jerusalem a colonial occupation.
This actually got them in a lot of trouble with their funders. A lot of their funders were Zionists and SNCC. And ultimately it led to a lot of, like, SNCC used to be like a multi-ethnic organization. There used to be a lot of white people in SNCC, but after they released this statement, and after they took the stand against Zionism, like, a lot of those white people left, and eventually SNCC ended up becoming a all-black, well, all-colonized organization.
Next, the Black Panther Party also viewed Palestinians as a fellow group of people fighting a larger system of white supremacy and colonial power around the world. And activists such as Angela Davis, Muhammad Ali, Huey P. Newton, and more all made trips to meet Palestinians. Decades later, that connection was kept alive with Palestinians reaching out to Black activists during protests to offer support and advice.
We saw this again in 2014 when Palestinian activists taught Ferguson protesters like myself how to respond to tear gas. And so when people like Palestinian American activists, even Bassem, who stood on the front lines of protests against the militarized police force in St. Louis.
He died sad. If I recall correctly, he died of a supposed overdose. But I remember Bassem. Good dude. But yeah. Blah, 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 blah. Fuck. But yeah, this is him, Bassem Masri. He was 31 years old. He was a Palestinian American activist who live streamed throughout the protests against police brutality and the murder of Michael Brown in Ferguson, and he died. He was found unresponsive on a bus in Bridgeton, Missouri. He was declared dead at a hospital at 11:09 a.m. after someone on the bus attempted to administer CPR. A man named Faizan Syed, who identified himself as a family member of Masri's, posted about his death on Facebook. In his short life, he did as much, if not more, to unite the fight for Black liberation and Palestinian liberation. But like a lot of people that were connected to the Ferguson movement have ended up dead. Danye Jones, I know his mom pretty well, and Darren Seals were found dead they found Darren Seal shot to death in a burning car. And the police say that he committed suicide, but Melissa McKinney's, his mom, suspected foul play. They still haven't found out who killed D. Seals yet. So, yeah. The cops and shit rushed to say it was an overdose. I don't know what happened. He might have had heart trouble, but yeah, it's fucked up.
This is a clear expression that this struggle and this solidarity goes both ways.
Fort was able to visit the occupied territories through the connections he made with Palestinians at protests. His visit ultimately changed the way he viewed activism.
Would I ever do a collaboration or an interview with Socialism for All? Who knows what the future holds, my friend?
I never understood the United States as a settler colonial project until I understood the state of Israel as a settler colonial project. None of this could happen without our US tax dollars. And so when we understand those connections, we also understand our moral responsibility, our political responsibility to stand up against the genocidal assault against the Palestinian people, and also to stand up against all systems of oppression.
In 2015, over 1,000 Black organizers and intellectuals signed a statement expressing solidarity with the Palestinian people and condemning Israel's war against Gaza in 2014. And despite facing the possibility of retaliation, many Black American figures have continued to use their platform to speak up for their community and Palestinian people. Although the tradition of Palestinian solidarity is not carried by all Black Americans, it has remained strong for decades and continues today.
I'm a follower of a Palestinian Jew who was arrested, who was incarcerated, who was stopped and frisked, and eventually lynched for resisting the Roman Empire. That's the best of our tradition. What does that look like today? That does not look like praying for nation states. That looks like standing on the side of those who bear the brunt of the violence of nation states. And I'm grateful to be a part of that tradition.
Me too. So, Starbucks is a little worried. They're a little iffy. Why? Because they're not making as much money as they used to. The Middle East, like they're trying hard to say that the boycott isn't working, but they still give it credit for the drop in sales figures. Laxman Narasimhan, the CEO, said on a post-earnings call that the company saw a significant impact on traffic and sales in the Middle East due to the conflict, and they said in a 2023 statement that Starbucks is a non-political organization. That's funny. And they dismissed rumors that they were providing free drinks and other things to the Israeli army. They say whatever they need to say to get more money. So they cut their sales forecast and are missing market expectations amidst boycotts. Some have avoided Starbucks in the Middle East and US after it took legal action in October against Workers United for using Starbucks' name and a similar logo. A post from the union's social media account in October expressing solidarity with the Palestinian people was deleted. We see protesters influenced by misrepresentation on social media of what we stand for. I thought you're a non-political organization. Mr. Narasimhan said in a December message to staff, which also said that many stores had experienced incidents of vandalism. May it continue, inshallah. But from mid-November, U.S. store traffic slowed, and its results for the first 3 months of the 24 financial year came in below what analysts had forecast. That's why you don't support genocide. That's why you take a firm stand against genocide, then your money will continue to grow. Women's genitals systematically mutilated in Hamas attack. Oh, for fuck's sake. They're still carrying this old-ass fucking narrative that has been, thoroughly debunked and disproved. By a vote of 23-23, with the tie-breaking 24th vote by Mayor Brandon Johnson, Chicago City Council became the largest city in the United States and North America to call for a ceasefire in Gaza. Based. Germans, every time their salaries go down to €4,500 a month, She is a proud new member of Alternative for Deutschland. Did you see a German artist cancel her exhibition because she concluded her art with Free Palestine, and the art gallery said art was non-political and that if she wanted her art approved, she would have to instead say Free Palestine from Hamas? So it's not non-political, it's our politics. It's the politics that we want you to spread. This is what at the Egyptian border.
انتم شايفين أنا هنا في منطقة رفح قرب الحدود المصرية. هذا المحطة الأخيرة للنزوح عليها. هي الناس.
No, Germany should have been divided like it was during the Holy Roman Empire. You have to keep Germany split up. Like, Europe should realize this by now. Whenever Germany is united, it makes trouble. Man, if I were Germany, I would not start discouraging the artistic careers of people with strong political opinions. Yeah, it didn't work out very well for them last time. Of course, Mustache Man was Austrian, and he ran into trouble at the Art Institute of Vienna. I've heard that people like the Egyptian Border Patrol and the company that's like in charge of all of that stuff, like they're shaking down people. Like they are trying to get tens of thousands of dollars from these people who have fucking nothing. And like, you know, $10,000 to cross into Egypt. Like, that is sick. Like, these are your fellow Muslims that are suffering. Like, where is the Ummah? $10,000 to get across. $2,500 if you're a kid. Where the fuck are these people going to get $10,000 from? Where the fuck are these people going to get $2,500? Where the fuck are these people going to get $2 from? But like, I thought Muslims were supposed to be like united in adversity. Like, why are you shaking down your fellow Muslims? Pat Arabism died when Nasser died. That's why there was a shit from Pat Arabism to Pat Islamism. But that's what I said. Like, aren't these your brothers in these are your brothers and sisters in religion? Like, this is your ummah. They're suffering and you are shaking them down for money. That is despicable. Like, that's something that fucking Jerry Falwell and Joel Osteen would do.
فأنا بتمنى لكل العالم عشان يوقفوا على الحرب ونرجع بيوتنا أمنين.
Egypt and Jordan are puppet regimes. Sisi and King Abdullah both deserve to be treated by Nuri Saad, dragged across the streets. Oh, hey, look, it's Jackson Tinkle.
I think the point that I disagree with here is, you know, with the whole point, you're going to own nothing and be happy. That is the globalist goal. That also does fall under the umbrella of communism when you trace it throughout its history.
You know, communists today in America don't support the eradication of, say, private property or anything.
Oh no, communists in America today are just like culture war fascists that support Donald Trump. Revisionism, not even once, except this guy is far beyond a fucking revisionist. What? Why is Biden wearing these shoes? Like, you got wingtips, but you've got sneaker soles on them. Like, I tried to look for these. I don't know if they're Cole Haan or what, but like, do better. Wingtips are not supposed to have soles like that. European history be like, War of the Bumbumlian Succession, Treaty of Lepipi, Status ante hominum, Ave Maria, Holy League of Kumsberg, Siege Schniffelbootle to the Grand Duchy of Hoibong-Lolland, Kingdom of Bumstack transfers colonial possessions to the Quintuple Alliance of Kuntersnatch, Maximilian, whatever that is, restored to throne of the Dungberg Empire, 1,000 casualties, 3 million killed by disease. It's AP Euro all over again. This is supposedly called bread. We buy wheat, and I swear to Allah, it's closer to animal feed than wheat. And we mix it with corn flour, and when it comes out, has no relation to bread. It comes out like a piece of wood fit neither for people or animals, I swear to God. You barely eat the slice of bread to sate your hunger before you begin to feel nauseous and vomit. The situation in northern Gaza is literal famine. Actually, it's 1,000,000 times worse than the word famine. Since the beginning of the ground war, no assistance has entered northern Gaza. God alone suffices for us. God prevails. This is what they're eating. This is what the people of Gaza are being forced to eat because of your president. Cori Bush issued a statement yesterday. First and foremost, I hold myself, my campaign, and my position to the highest levels of integrity. I also believe in transparency, which is why I can confirm that the Department of Justice is reviewing my campaign's spending on security services. We are fully cooperating in this investigation, and I would like to take this opportunity to outline the facts and the truth. Since before I was sworn into office, I have endured relentless threats to my physical safety and life. As a rank-and-file member of Congress, I am not entitled to personal protection by the House and instead have used campaign funds as permissible to retain security services. I have not used any federal tax dollars for personal security services. Any reporting that I have used federal funds for personal security is simply false. In recent months, right-wing organizations have lodged baseless complaints against me, peddling notions that I have misused campaign funds to pay for personal security services. This is simply not true. I have complied with all applicable laws and House rules, and will continue to prioritize the rules that govern us as federal elected officials. In particular, the nature of these allegations have been around my husband's role on the campaign. In accordance with all applicable rules, I retained my husband as part of my security team to provide security services because he has had extensive experience in this area and is able to provide the necessary services at or below a fair market rate. These frivolous complaints have resulted in a number of investigations, some of which are still ongoing. The Federal Election Commission and the House Committee on Ethics are currently reviewing the matter, as is the Department of Justice. We are fully cooperating in all of these pending investigations. In September of last year, after conducting a months-long investigation, the OCE, Office of Congressional Ethics, found no wrongdoing and voted unanimously to dismiss the case. I look forward to the same outcome from all pending investigations. I am under no illusion that these right-wing organizations will stop politicizing and pursuing efforts to attack me in the work that the people of St. Louis sent me to Congress to do, to lead boldly, to legislate change my constituents can feel, and to save lives. So, she put the kibosh on that. But like I said yesterday, like, they're basically, okay, the media and reactionaries that read black women through three very, very old tropes, right? You're either a mammy who's caring and who risks her life to protect white children and people in general at the expense of her family. You're a Jezebel that basically wrecks white homes, or you're a loudmouth sapphire. They're basically portraying Cori Bush as a loudmouth sapphire that is corrupt, that is ignorant, that is foul-mouthed, and is not qualified to be in Congress. I am to the left on Cori Bush on pretty much everything. But at the same time, it was a black woman that birthed me, okay? It was black women that raised me and taught me everything I know about life. So I simply cannot stand by and watch and listen idly and quietly as a black woman, especially a black woman from St. Louis, is attacked. So all power to Cori Bush. Maori stand in solidarity with Palestine.
We stand in solidarity with the Palestinian people.
Maori movement was actually inspired by both the Black liberation struggle in the United States. Like, they literally had Polynesian panthers, and also by the Palestinian movement. So these two movements, the movement of black people in the United States and the Palestinian movement, like, they've given energy and breath to a lot of colonized people's movements all across the world.
In 1965, they took our seafoodness. The soldiers came here to Wairoa, to Napier, and they took my people from here. And they were imprisoned over in the Ferguson.
Following last week's general strike, Argentina's courts have annulled the entire labor chapter of Javier Milei's mega decree declaring its constitutional invalidity. My favorite bit of World War II lore is that when American troops saw tall, pale, bearded, blue-eyed Ainu soldiers who were fighting for the Japanese, they were confused and thought they were Germans. Still remember when Twitter jumped me last time I said teachers and nurses are functionally cops to black people. A black woman who was charged for miscarriage was reported to cops by her nurse. So, yeah, this woman miscarried. The woman's name is Brittany Watch. She had a miscarriage at 22 weeks, and she was charged with felony abuse of a corpse. She miscarried in late September while using the bathroom at her home, and then flushed the fetal remains down the toilet. The nurse called the police. This woman was having a literal medical emergency, and the nurse's response was to call the police when this woman came to the hospital bleeding and said she was no longer pregnant because she had had a miscarriage. This prompted police to visit Watt's house days later, recover the fetal remains, and arrest her, charging with felony abuse of a corpse. Even though a forensic pathologist testified in November that her fetus was not born alive, and had not been viable. Still, Watts faced up to 1 year in prison, a fine of up to $2,500, and a felony on her record until a jury declined to charge her later this month. That's fucking disgusting. Like, if you're working class and black, yeah, like doctors and nurses and shit, the white left is keen on defending these people because, like, a lot of leftists are social workers, or they're EMTs and paramedics, or they're nurses, or they're teachers. But, like, a lot of people in these professions are racist as fuck. And the youth, especially of the black working class, are routinely brutalized and pathologized by these folks. Also, remember the shit that happened between the teachers union and black parents over community control of schools in New York City in the 60s. This is a decent map. Of course, there's indigenous comrades that are debating and struggling over it. But, yeah, it's a lot better than some of the communist, well, wannabe communist crap that I've seen. Of course, I, as a communist, take umbrage with the term empire, but, eh. Proud resident of the Cahokian Republic. So here's Little Miss Flint. She's saying that it's been a little over 48 hours since she called out both Nicki Minaj and Megan Thee Stallion. And she says that there's still no word from either artist or their team. There's 8.3 million impressions, there's 20,000 retweets, and she's still getting attacked by Nicki Minaj fans. Barbarism. Listen up, liberal. My wife left me. Fetterman's wife, like, deleted all of her social media pictures with him, and people are speculating that she left him. Doctors in Serbia are also disgustingly violent towards pregnant women, especially Roma people. One doctor a few weeks ago assaulted a woman while she was giving birth, and the baby died because its skull was crushed. That is fucking disgusting. Journalists have discovered 50 bodies of Palestinians that were tied up and summarily executed by the Israeli army in Gaza. This was a fucking massacre. And, like, who is going to be held accountable? Look at this. Like, this is some fucking Bobby Yar Nazi shit. Most of the bodies are decomposing by now, indicating the mass summary executions occurred months ago. The bodies of citizens were discovered handcuffed. Handcuffed. with cloth over their eyes, and they had been executed. We found them under a mountain of rubble and garbage. Alan Dershowitz is invited to the damn cookout. This is why I can't fuck with these fucking people anymore. I can't fuck with most of the black media anymore. Fetterman, while mayor, pulled a shotgun on an unarmed black man in custody. He thought he was sus and got no fucking charge. Yeah, I remember that. That's why I never fucked with him in the first place. Hind Qadri's cousin died. He had COVID-19 and was transferred to the ICU at Wafa yesterday. He did not make it. Yeah, I'm rarely speechless, but ugh. What is the Maoist stance on angry video game nerd versus nostalgia critic? Why do y'all ask me these stupid questions?
Captain, you are not allowed to proceed via the Red Sea. For your safety, you have to come back. Your safety.
There you go. Go outside and touch grass.
And your crew and ship's safety, you have to come back. To proceed via the Red Sea. Otherwise, you will bear our responsibility.
He's an angry gamer because he doesn't go outside. If he went outside, he wouldn't be so fucking angry. Wake up, babe. New Houthi wave just dropped.
It is 3,000. Back off, Mike. Actually, I'm in altitude. Descend meeting 1 mile.
Al-Danimark is like a propaganda fucking genius. Like, he knows what Westerners like. Like, his task is like to educate these ignorant Westerners about the struggle that's going on, and like he's basically using these zoomer ass aesthetics to make these people look based. Well, they are based, and he needs a shout out for that. After the revolution, we need to fetch him away from Denmark and put him in the People's Ministry of Propaganda. Hamas does the same shit. They know that Zoomers love biggest explosions. Well, yeah, most of Hamas also is Zoomers. Like, these people, they grew up playing fucking Battlefield and Call of Duty and real-time strategy games. Like, that's how they learned how to fight. Hot Houthi twink incoming. Haven't you all been told to stop sexualizing that dude? Haven't y'all been told that? Like, first of all, he's not a Houthi. He's not a member of Ansar Allah. He's just some dude. He's just some fucking dude. Like, bruh. Horny Westerners are going to be the death of us all. I'm gonna be real, Chief. No Zoomers played real-time strategy games. You just try to slide that in because you like those games. Yeah, no Zoomer, ever. No Zoomer, ever. My brothers are Zoomers. They played them. Thank you, Aldani Markey.
Visions of the future come in all kinds of
Let's time travel to the year 2100. Here's what to expect.
flavors, from sustainable solarpunk utopias to industrial cyberpunk dystopias. Whether you believe in one or the other probably says a lot more about you and your own level of optimism. But we do know the future will be different in a lot of ways. I mean, just think about how much the world has changed in the last 20 years. How much our lives have changed in the last 20 years. Well, what if we projected that out for another 80 years to the end of the century? What will the world be like in 2100? This is impossible to know, obviously. I mean, just predicting 5 years out at this point is a fool's errand. So imagine the kind of fool who wants to look ahead 80 years. Me, I'm this fool. But along the way, we'll take a look back at some of the predictions of today from the past and see what we can learn from what they got wrong, what they got right, and just apply that going forward. We really did our best when looking at this to kind of take our own biases out of it and just kind of look at the facts, look at the long-term trends while considering the social and economic factors at play. This is meant to be a realistic take. We looked all over for some future predictions.
Just tell me what life is going to be like at 2100, you fucking receding hairline dunce.
The point that I ran across this TikTok the other day.
Okay, this is a genuine question to older people. What did you do before you could look something up? Like, if you saw someone and you were like, oh, they remind me of that actor, what was that, what's his name? And okay, without Google Maps, I know that there was MapQuest, but before that, genuinely, what would you do? Would you just accept not knowing?
Now, I'm not sharing that clip to make fun of this creator or stir up generational hate or anything like that. The reason I'm bringing it up is because I catch myself thinking that sometimes. How did we live without smartphones? And I was there. I grew up without the internet. The fact that the internet has gone in only 20 years from being this thing that's just kind of on your computer that you just check every once in a while, or that you do work on, to this thing that is in your pocket every minute of every day, providing you with all the information available in human history at all times. Literally so integrated into every aspect of our lives that we seriously don't know how we used to exist without it. I think it's safe to assume that the trend is toward more immersion. Now, in the immediate future, as I've talked about before, I think this leads to things like more virtual and augmented reality through things like smart glasses. But there's also another kind of immersion that we've seen with the internet, and that's an immersion of opinions and perspectives. I mean, that's kind of what the internet is. It's like a giant superorganism of people, each with their own views on the world, which we're sharing more and more all the time. We found an article on a website called Future Business Tech, which they've got a YouTube channel, you can go check it out if you want, but they envision that the internet of the future could be basically a global hive mind, where every human thought and every human feeling is available to
That's why we need socialism, because we cannot allow Elon Musk, the United States Department of Defense, and other such nasty organizations and people to control a global hive mind. Can you imagine, having ads beamed into your fucking brain? Not going to be a good time. Or if, say, some fucking cyber terrorist asshole decides that he wants to hack into it and fuck it up, and then no. This is why we need socialism, because socialism is the only way to ensure that this hive mind is used responsibly. Warning, he has the Elon Musk spaceship. Oh, I was wondering what that giant fucking dick in the background was.
It says 24/7. Also, one where you could construct your own virtual reality.
Can't wait in 40 years to install ad block to my brain computer.
Just based off of your brain data. Imagine the way personalized ads work now. Well, in the future, you might be able to build personalized realities. As if we
yeah, cool.
Aren't fractured enough already. Although, it could allow for more deeper understanding of other people, because if you were able to actually tap into another person's emotions and actually feel what that other person is feeling.
That would be manipulation central.
It might make you more empathetic toward that person.
Or it might make it easier to manipulate that person.
Have that phrase, always remember that every person you meet is fighting a battle you don't know about. And that's an important piece of wisdom that we should all keep in mind. But what if you didn't have to keep it in mind? Because you could feel it for yourself. Of course, the downside there is that some people are lunatics, and some of the things people feel is hatred. So this might be something that might make it easier to spread hate. And it will be used that way. Of course, if we have the ability to...
Or spread communism.
Download emotions and thoughts, we'd probably also be able to download skills and knowledge just directly into the brain.
I know Kung Fu.
They might look back at smartphones the way we look at the telegraph now. Yeah, people were able to communicate, but it was really clunky and weird. They might be like, how did anybody ever understand each other if you couldn't just telepathically share your thoughts with them? Now, of course, all of those scenarios are only possible if we're able to figure out how to directly interface with the brain. And I know what you're thinking, but I actually don't think it's going to be Neuralink. I'm not trying to be anti-Neuralink. I actually defend Neuralink. I think it could be a game changer for disabled people to give them accessibility, but I don't think it's going to be embraced by the general public. Not if a non-invasive interface comes along, which I think AI could make possible. So scientists have been able to read brainwaves for decades, and we've learned a lot of things, generally about the brain and the different parts of the brain and how they work and whatnot. The problem is we've never been able to actually discern thoughts or memories or anything like that, because
Defund Neuralink.
There's just way too much noise in the signal. But AI, with its infinitely better pattern recognition, could do just that. And this isn't just me making some prediction about the future. They're doing that right now. This was in an article that came out last March in the journal Science.
Oh, okay. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't do this. No.
One of the biggest state massacres against socialists in recent history, with over 6,000 killed, has just been officially admitted. The genocide against the Socialist Unión Patriótica party committed by the Colombian government. Colombia's Public Attorney's Office declared the state guilty of systematic massacres that wiped out the Socialist UP over a 12-year period. The UP emerged in 1985 from negotiations between the communist FARC-EP guerrilla, which was on the verge of taking power in the country through armed struggle. The UP was a legal parliamentary front supported by the FARC and its clandestine Communist Party. And the UP achieved overwhelming and rapid successes in local and parliamentary elections in 1986, winning 17 parliamentarians and 23 deputies. The far-right's hegemony in Colombia was being broken down on every front. And to save itself, they looked for help from a true genocide expert, the high-ranking Israeli Mossad agent Rafi Eitan. When asked by Colombia's right...
Every time you hear about a massacre or something fucked up happening in a third world country, it's always either a Brit, an American, or an Israeli that helped mastermind it.
The ex-president...
You can bank on it.
Virgilio Barco for the most effective strategy against the FARC guerrilla, Mossad Guerrilla, exterminate the Unión Patriótica. In what is now recognized as a genocide, the UP was wiped out, resulting in the revocation of their party status in 2002. The official admission of these massacres was made possible by Colombia's first ever left-wing government under President Gustavo Petro, who denounced the governments responsible at the time as a murderous state that must never return. This decision paves the way for accountability and justice for the victims.
Oh, that's good. Oh,
So, what's all this talk about?
He went to a sundown town.
Anna, Illinois being a sundown town and its racist past. Well, where do I begin? Anna, Illinois is about a 2-hour drive southeast of St.
I actually got a book about sundown towns. It's literally titled Sundown Towns, a hidden dimension of American racism. I use it as a fucking mouse pad, but people say that, like, Anna literally stands for ain't no N-words allowed.
St. Louis. Oh, and by the way, if you haven't seen this already, there's a link down below that shows you an interactive map on all of the places that I've made videos on. It's really easy to use. All you have to do is click on the link to the map. That made all people of color leave town by the time that the sun went down. I made videos on several sundown towns throughout southern Illinois so far, but this town is different. In this video, I explore the city that is Anna, Illinois, and I also go through Jonesboro, Illinois, which is the county seat of Union County. Well, let's get to it, shall we?
Everybody from STL or the Metro East knows that, like, there's nothing out here. Like, if you end up in places like Jonesboro or Anna, ain't no Negroes allowed, you fucked up. These are places you end up. These are not places you go unless you're making a video about them.
Oh yes, another Walmart parking lot that I start the video in. Now that I have my 12-pack of Mountain Dew, I do start the video on the far east side of town before driving through the countryside to get to Jonesboro. If you're unfamiliar with my videos, I do speed up my videos in order to show more in a less amount of time. You can always keep up with the real time that it takes me to drive in the lower left corner of the screen. If I go too fast for you, or if you think that I'm going too slow, you can always adjust the playback speed by selecting the gear icon if you're watching on PC, or by selecting the 3-dotted menu if you're watching on a mobile device. Isn't YouTube great? Also really quick, as if you enjoy this video, make sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe, as doing all of those things helps these videos out with the YouTube algorithm. Also make sure to hit that notification bell so that you can be notified every time that I upload a new video of an area near you. If you enjoyed this video, you might enjoy checking out some of the featured playlists on my channel. Videos on places like this one can be found in my Illinois playlist or in my USA Small Towns playlist. Last but not least, if you can't get enough of me on here, you can go follow me on my other social media accounts, and those links are below. I'm not sure what I was trying to accomplish when I first set the route to drive for filming this video. Maybe buying Mountain Dew from Walmart like a true hilljack isn't the way to wake yourself up early in the morning. If you have any other suggestions, please let me know, because I clearly needed some caffeine in my system when I was driving to make this video. Anyway, back to the video. I drive through a newer neighborhood on the east side of town before going through the countryside to get to Jonesboro, which is the county seat of Union County. I won't start talking about the sundown town that is Anna, Illinois until later in the video, and you can always check the timestamps below to skip to the part of the video that you might want to see. Traditionally, there are two main industries in southern Illinois. Those industries are agriculture and coal mining. Southern Illinois has long been given the nickname of Little Egypt. There's a town further south called Cairo, spelled the same way as the major city of Cairo, Egypt, and it's located within Alexander County. Both Cairo and Alexandria, Egypt are the largest cities in Egypt and are located along the Nile River Delta, which is a great region in Egypt for agriculture. Southern Illinois is bordered by the Ohio and Mississippi River, and the nickname of Little Egypt is supposed to reflect that of the Nile River Delta region of the real Egypt. Nonetheless, both Anna and Jonesboro thrive off of agriculture, and once the railroads came through, it became a more profitable business, allowing the towns to grow.
Yes, most of the Midwest is flat as fuck. Don't ever come here.
As I mentioned earlier, I didn't really know what I was doing when setting the route to drive for filming this video, so I'll speed up the video and talk to you once I get to Jonesboro.
It is. It's very pretty. It's just bland and boring. Like there's nothing out here. I have to feel the concrete beneath my shoes. Oh, you've been to St. Louis. You have the vests and the T-Rabs in your blood and in your fucking arteries. And you had White Castle too? You're almost a local.
Well, this is a creepy looking bridge. However, that truck that just passed me gave me a little bit of confidence in heading over this bridge, as that truck weighed 2 or 3 times more easily than the car that I was driving.
I'm watching this guy drive through sundown towns.
Alright, so here we are in Jonesboro, Illinois, which is the county seat of Union County. Jonesboro is home to 1,700 residents, which is not much lower than its highest recorded population of 1,850, which was in the year 2000. However, Union County as a whole is home to only 16,800 people. That's down from a 1940 peak population of 21,500. That's a loss of 5,000 people over the course of 80 years. And yeah, that's not too big of a population decline over a large period of time, but that's not a population growth. That's a population decline. And there doesn't seem to be any signs of this region seeing economic growth anytime soon. It is in the state of Illinois, and Illinois has the second highest property taxes out of all of the US states, as only New Jersey is higher. However, unlike New Jersey, Illinois is surrounded by states that are way more tax-friendly, such as Missouri, Iowa, Indiana, Kentucky, and Wisconsin, making it really easy not only for residents, but for employers to move an hour away to escape the high taxes associated with being in Illinois. By the way, folks, that's not me being political, that's me dropping facts. Illinois has lost more people than any other state over the course of the last 10 years, and the high taxes are largely believed to be the reason why.
Yeah. He's actually right about that.
There's not much to Jonesboro. It's just another small city that happens to be the county seat, even though nearby Anna is the larger city of the two. The most notable history in Jonesboro is that it was the location of the third Lincoln-Douglas debate. Those series of debates took place throughout the state of Illinois and started the beginning to the end of slavery in the United States. Even though Illinois was a free state, the state is not at all short of having a racist past, especially southern Illinois. Stick around for when I talk about Anna and you'll quickly understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, like if you drive through like that part, or even like rural Missouri, like they all look like this. They all look like this fucking town. Like they have these fucking shotgun businesses and shit like that. At some point, the Midwest plains are filled with water. Yeah, that's why the whole area is good for agriculture. That's actually why the Mississippi Delta, like the Black Belt, that part of the South got its name because, yeah, there were a shitload of black people there that were brought there for slavery reasons. But also, like, the soil there is so rich because that whole area, like, that used to be the bottom of an ocean. It used to be the bottom of an ocean. And that resulted in extremely fertile land. It looks like your childhood town in Indiana. Like, you drive through, like, Ohio, Indiana, Southern Illinois, Missouri, Kentucky. Like, all the little towns look like this. And all the little towns are, like, usually racist as fuck. These are not places you want to get caught. if you're my fucking skin color. I mean, it's not like they're gonna just drag me out and lynch me, but like they'll look at you crazy and they'll like, cause you're on their turf. Just like they won't come to St. Louis and go to the middle of the fucking hood and say racist shit. Like, you don't go to these types of places. Like, what the fuck is there, to be honest? You're talking about the Aral Sea.
And now we have reached the notorious town that is Anna, Illinois. Anna is home to 4,100 residents, which is down from a 1980 peak population of 5,400. That's a decline of only 1,300 people over the course of 40 years, you say, but that's about a 25% decline, or 1/4 of its peak population that is left. To repeat what I said once I entered Jonesboro further back, there's not many jobs here, and there's not much of a future because it's hard to see any kind of economic growth occurring here anytime soon. Unless you're a farmer, it's slim pickings here when trying to find work. The crime rates in Anna, to my surprise, are twice the national average rate. I'm sure that the chances are that nothing will happen to you if you live here, but come on, Anna residents, you need to stop assaulting each other after getting drunk at your local pubs, or fighting over the last case of Mountain Dew at the local Walmart. On the other hand, the public school systems here seem to be doing okay, according to niche.com.
According to niche.com. Who the fuck would want to go to school in Anna, Illinois? It's called the Aral Sea.
So, what's all this talk about Anna, Illinois being a sundown town and its racist past? Well, where do I begin? Let me start off by saying that the history of the community doesn't necessarily reflect its values today, and I'm sure that many people will say that today, Anna is different. I also have a story that kind of does show that Anna is starting to change. However, let me say that you can't argue that further action isn't needed in order to show the world that it's left its ugly past in the rearview mirror and that things are officially moving forward. Back in the first half of the 20th century and for most of the second half, people of color were not allowed to live in Anna. The town is named after the wife of the city's founder, Anna Davy, and there's a street in town called Davy Street that parallels the railroad tracks as well. Wait, we're on Davy Street. How ironic. Anyway, the reason why Anna is the absolute most notorious sundown town, at least for the region that is Southern Illinois, is because over time, the name of the city became an acronym. I'm not going to say the whole acronym, I'll let you fill in the blanks. It stands for Ain't No Blank Allowed. Pretty sad, right? There were billboards back in the day that displayed that message as you drove into Anna, reminding everyone of color that they were not welcome in town. Billboards that displayed that filthy word were visible in many other sundown towns as well. However, at least for the region that is Southern Illinois, Anna became the most notorious one over time. In 1909, it was largely believed that a Cairo, Illinois resident raped and murdered an Anna resident by the name of Anna Pelly. That led to the lynching of the suspect in Cairo, who was an African American and went by the name of William James. By the way, if you haven't seen my Cairo, Illinois video, you should go ahead and check that one out. But that event is largely believed to be the main reason why Anna became a sundown town. It's said that Confederate flags were proudly displayed along storefronts in town through the 1980s. If you grew up in Anna, or you live here, chances are that you know someone, you yourself, or your own generations of relatives have used that nasty word many, many times. And I'm not just trying to single out Anna, as there were several other sundown towns spread throughout Southern Illinois and beyond. There were probably many people across Southern Illinois that statement would also be true. But I will say that it wouldn't be a bad thing if Anna changed its name due to the reputation that it has from the acronym associated with the name of the town. To further expand on the town of Cairo, Illinois, and why you should check out that video, Cairo was a town that African Americans were allowed to live in. However, the city had designated neighborhoods where colored people could live, like many cities did back in the day. However, when William James was suspected of raping and killing a white resident from Anna, mobs of white people gathered around the courthouse where a lynching of James took place shortly after in Cairo. That led to ongoing racial tensions in Cairo, where over time most of the whites eventually moved out of town. For more on that, go ahead and watch that video.
This guy literally just said colored people. Oh man, I love liberals.
Now, most recently, in the crazy year that was 2020, Anna, Illinois actually saw a Black Lives Matter protest. I've attached a link to a well-written article on the BLM protests in Anna, where a young adult of color organized the event and got other young adults to join her. Before their protest, they went to the police chief in town, Brian Watkins, to explain what they wanted to do, and to the police officer's credit, he gave them their full support. The residents were scared, thinking that it was going to turn into riots, but no, it was a peaceful protest that was fighting for black lives in a small town with a rich history of racism. During this time, a city council member named Brian Miller said that this was an opportunity for the town to show that it has moved past its racist reputation. Up to 200 people marched through Anna. A big thumbs up to Logan Jeff, who wrote this article for ProPublica.org, and the event organizers, including Jessica Moore, who grew up nearby and is black. Big thumbs up to other event organizers as well. Once again, my rants in this video are not political, they are moral.
Oh man, I love liberals. Very astute observation, Potato God. Probably developed in the 20s.
With that said, I do realize that this is a complicated process for any community to go through, and it probably does cost a lot of money, and it probably does cost a lot of time and effort, but I think that it can be done with the right amount of effort and time, and I think that it would be a great thing if this town changed its name. I think that that would just speak volumes to the town moving forward, and with how the town is associated with the acronym, I think that it would just be the best thing to do.
They're not gonna change their name, dumbass. It does, and some of those houses are fucking gorgeous. What do you mean houses? This is one house copy pasted across town. Y'all are so ungenerous and mean. You know, back in the day, like you actually used to be able to order a house out of the fucking Sears catalog. Like you can literally order a whole ass house out of the Sears Roebuck catalog, and it would be delivered to wherever you had it delivered to, and you could put the shit together. Like actual real houses, not packing crates. Yeah, I don't like all that. Like, look at all that. This empty fucking vacant land. Shit gets on my nerves. Not a fan. What is this dry ass music he's playing? Bruh. Wait, they're building houses like we have here in the United States over there in Serbia? I'm so sorry, cigarette enjoyer. I'm so sorry. Oh, that's cute. Let's play some Skylines. You all want to see me build another commie city. This is actually on a map of San Diego. I renamed it Zapata because it's part of I was going to say New Africa. I don't think we expand that far. We're not stealing land from our Chicano comrades. But this is part of Aztlan. So Zapata, formerly known as San Diego. I might could have kept the original name, but revolutionaries love renaming shit. Apparently a lot of people want to live in Aslan. Also, they have a pretty sweet elevated rail line that I'm definitely going to have to make use of. Pretty town on the ocean. Let's get a park. People like parks for some reason. They yearn for the trees. There's like iron and shit under this residential area, but I don't want to build mines there. Mines ruin the soil. There's actually a town like a couple hours away from St. Louis called West Frankfort, Illinois. I have a friend that lives there actually, and they built his house over a mine and it's sinking. Like his fucking patio is like a foot or two lower than his kitchen because of the fucking mine under it. Eventually it's going to cave in. But like, why would you do that? Capitalists of olden days that were tasked with building houses tended to be very selfish people. Yeah, just leave that to future generations to deal with. Yeah, we built the house over a fucking mine shaft. Who cares? It's not going to cave in our lifetime, but watch out, future people. Hey, BRG, that is an awesome city you build. Heck, I want to live in it. You're doing a great job, no lie. Oh, thank you. My chat is so wholesome. But as soon as I get big enough, you all are gonna become toxic, I can already tell. So I might as well enjoy the wholesomeness while it lasts. We should start talking like the Twitter people in city skylines. No, I've had enough of Twitter for the past 2 days. Whenever a black person makes you look like an ass, just call us anti-Semitic. That's what they do. Communism leaving your body once you reach 100 active viewers on your stream. Well, I have 50 of you motherfuckers, so give it a couple months. It'll be on average 100 or so. This thing has actually been growing. I'm surprised. People really want to watch a fucking bald-headed black dude in a flat cap talk about communism and play city builders. I guess I fill a niche. If I was white, I wouldn't have anybody watching this shit, but I guess it's the novelty factor for a lot of people. I bet you Cigarette Enjoyer and the rest of these Balkans have never even talked to a black person before me. If all of us in this chat marry and reproduce, he can make it big. Jesus Christ. What is it with leftists and cults? Actually not true. Huh. I did it once. It was a 3-sentence long convo. That's interesting. A very cosmopolitan Serb you are. Oh, she was visiting Serbia? Was she from the United States? You talked to a... Bro, what is wrong with you? I talked to a black guy telepathically once. You people are fucking deranged. Ronald Reagan was into the occult. Yeah, I know. His wife was into astrology. Like, they paid an astrologer to like be in-house staff, and they would consult this lady before they made major decisions. And like, Nancy would not let him do anything if the astrologist ruled against it. It was creepy as fuck. But that's white people for you. Are you in the witchcraft potato salad god? That's creepy, but not surprising. As long as you don't put one of those weird ass spells on me, because then I'd have to counteract it, and I don't think you'd like the way I would. I have no desire whatsoever to come to Serbia, so I will not be one of the black people living in Belgrade. You all are benefiting from my very good taste in music. Get rid of these funky ass power lines. Oh, cool. We got fishing. Lord Jesus, it's a fire. A forest fire. Shaping up to be a very aesthetic little city, just like San Diego in real life. Oh, no water. That's no good. Alright. Fishing route is doing well. Thriving little industrial / port area we've got here. Oh, you mean garbage? I don't know. Maybe I'll go and I'll record myself. That's a big ass convenience store. That's a lot of convenience. Hey, look at this Art Deco beauty. International House of Pancakes. I just like zooming in and looking at the little people and all the little buildings going about their little lives. I am a God that takes an interest in the lives of my people. Might even answer a few of their prayers. Hey, look at this beautiful little villa here. Oh, no, 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 no. I always built the loveliest cities. Why doesn't Midwest Marks have black speakers? Because they're racists. That's why. If you ever run into an organization or a collective that doesn't have any black people, yet fancies itself revolutionary, yet black people are like the vanguard of the revolution in this country, the easy and correct answer is that they're fucking racists. Like, what the fuck do a bunch of white kids know about revolution, man? In the United States? Nothing whatsoever. So we can safely surmise that they are a bunch of racists. Does PSL have black leaders? Yes, they have a token named Eugene Puryear. He actually knows how to give a banger-ass speech, but black people are nothing if not people that know how to give banger-ass speeches. But yeah, he's a member of the Central Committee. Oh no, garbage is piling up. That's shitty. Oh no, my people are unhappy. That's anti-black. I'm trying my best, you ungrateful assholes. I give you socialism and you complain about the garbage piling up. I don't know, I'm not Canadian. My wife, why would I give a fuck about Canada? You live there. What is to be done in Canada, that's up to you. Bringing down the United States is going to be hard enough without me worrying about what you fucking beavers over there get up to. Figure it out. What am I, BRG, International Revolutionary Consultant? Help me, Black Red Guard. We need to know how to make revolution in Canada, eh? Just get Trudeau to do a DNA test to prove once and for all he's Castro's son. They actually do bear a creepy resemblance to each other. I mean, Castro did seduce the CIA agent who was sent to kill him, so it's not entirely outside of the realm of possibility. Stop calling me an imperialist. I'm literally Fidel Castro's son. Castro actually died because he realized that Trudeau was his son and had a stroke. I thought it was lung cancer from all those cigars he smoked. I did not die of lung cancer. I died when I realized that the imperialist Prime Minister of Canada is my son. Yeah, because you all can't make the revolution on your own. Now we've got to take over Canada. You all are already basically our 51st state, so we might as well make it official. Let's see what else there is for us to amuse ourselves on this Wednesday afternoon. What the fuck? I don't want to watch anything about Jeff Bezos.
It's here, in a tiny settlement, high in the Andes mountain range of South America, that global trade begins. And that's because of what is discovered deep inside this mountain. The purest silver the world has ever seen.
Oh no!
It's 1581, and a buyer appears for this silver. 11,000 miles away, the Emperor of China, the most powerful man on earth, has decided that his people must now pay their tax in silver.
This sparks a huge demand for silver in China to the point where silver was worth more than gold.
This series explores how the world is transformed when the King of Spain's silver meets the tax demands of the Emperor of China. It's a remarkable story that witnesses how China came to dominate at the dawn of world trade over 400 years ago.
The first time the whole world was linked into one global network, and the most important element of this is silver.
Am I pro universal basic income? I'm pro anything that helps the working class.
Silver allows China's emperors to become the most powerful men on earth, and silver makes this businessman the richest man in the world.
A lot of America's Industrial Revolution was funded by this Chinese merchant.
Chinese craftsmen go on to create silverware of unparalleled skill and beauty that are coveted across the world.
Already in the 18th century, people were admiring this fantastic work because the wire is so thin, it's like hair.
China's silver trade drives the growth of world cities from Boston to Hong Kong, Shanghai to Seville. But it also sows the seeds of China's near destruction and leads to war with Western powers.
The British were determined to get a war. They got the war.
It's the time when China enters what's become nicknamed the century of humiliation, the period when China was not in control of its own external affairs.
But China won't let go its obsession with this precious metal.
Only trust silver. It is almost like a religion in Chinese history.
Well, that's what happens when you build yourself around mammon. You suffer horribly. But on the other hand, the issues that took place during the Century of Humiliation laid the foundation for the rise of communism in China. So, to every cloud, there's a silver lining. I'm so proud of Chicago. They're also holding the Democratic Convention in Chicago this year. Do you think it'll be a replay of 68? I think it will. Al Hood's brigades published a video showing mortar launchers crushing IOF soldiers and military vehicles in the axis west of Khan Yunis. There's also a shit ton of Palestinians in Chicago. That's why I said it might be a replay of 68. They're teaching us how to fight a war and you're looking at their fucking shoes. This is why there hasn't been a revolution in the United States. Are they supposed to be doing all this with their bare hands? They're just calmly loading the fucking shells in. And then they cover their ears and they load another one. All this shit is barehanded. This guy has rings on his finger. What if he gets caught in something? That's incredibly brave, but also seems to be incredibly dangerous. Well, I guess they know what they're doing. The report confirms that the obviously fake story about the pregnant woman who had her child ripped from her womb by bloodthirsty Hamas demons was indeed fake. Of course it was. Anybody with the fucking brain could have told you that it was fake. The commies are fighting. When are the commies not fighting? Legitimizing Islamophobia. How Sacha Baron Cohen's Borat helped pave the way for Israel's slaughter in Gaza. Honestly, yeah. Like this and that this dude, that Borat shit, and that Team America World Police, like that ruined the minds of millions of young millennials. Like we thought that shit was funny. That shit is not funny at all.
Shame, shame, Shuro! Shame, shame, Shuro! Shame on you!
He's like, hey, what's going on? What's going on, guys? What's going on, guys?
Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on you!
Mood.
They're soon set to unveil their proposed plan. How would the proposed changes affect?
If passed, the bipartisan plan for immigration reform would give President Biden the power to effectively shut down asylum processing at the U.S.-Mexico border, make asylum interviews harder, and increase deportations. Well, didn't you guys vote for Biden to stop all this shit? We went from no more kids in cages to no more kids in cages. And even assuming the most dead-eyed, pragmatic view of politics, how does this work narratively? The Republicans are hypocrites for faking like they're putative assholes, but we're the real putative assholes. Okay. This is why I'm glad I'm a Maoist and I don't have to participate in this farce. Because that's exactly what this is. It's a farce. None of this shit is going to improve the lives of the people that we want to improve the lives of. None of this shit is going to help the working class, the global working class. So why participate? Like, why delude yourself? Oh, my poll. Who you got for the Super Bowl? It's almost neck and neck. KC has a slight lead. I'm going with San Francisco. Why? Because I'm a good gay.
Who's going in and out of the event.
This happened at a Biden event. You have a very flamboyant gay man. You have a black woman that are teaming up to keep a hijabi out of an event because they thought that they were going to protest.
We are choosing who's going in and out of the event. I'm sorry.
Why are you choosing us not to go in when we have an invite?
Right, you specifically singled us out.
That's racist. Is it because we have hijabs?
I'm happy to talk to someone else.
It is because that's clearly. I was afraid of this. That's crazy.
This is the guy that you have handling admissions and he doesn't know how to talk to people.
That's out of everybody.
Isn't that against Democrats? Whole campaign? That's very Islamophobic. That's very racist.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry for being racist.
Are you?
You guys keep coming through.
We have an invite.
You're part of the LGBT community too, right? And you're still gonna kick us out?
Come on through.
Are you serious?
That's crazy. Wow. Now I really won't vote for Biden and Harris. That's crazy.
Interesting. And
whose decision is that?
Las Vegas too.
Because we want to talk to them.
Okay.
Right. Whose decision was this?
Come on through.
This guy is so ignorant. I just want to punch him.
Thanks for being here. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for being here. They're racist, Islamophobic, obviously.
And you're being racist. Get a ticket or something?
They're disinviting us because we have hijabs on our heads. That's why, people. This is not a democracy. This is disgusting.
We're being singled out.
Obviously, we're the only hijabi women. That's kind of clear. They're disinviting us because we have scarves on our heads.
Literally.
That's disgusting. When we have an invitation, just like everyone else, what is the problem?
By a man who's in the LGBT community too. You're going after another group. Can they come in? They were already...
Why not? It is, because why isn't it? We have an invitation. No, here, don't come up with excuses because
Pathetic. If you vote for Biden and Harris, you need bad things to happen to you. I'm going to go play Skyrim. Remember what I said. If you vote for Biden and Harris, I hope bad things happen to you. Why? Because you are responsible for this. Don't be responsible for this. Don't engage. You can't vote for Biden. You're not an American citizen.